Hello, welcome to your practice. My name's Annie Clarke and I'm going to be guiding you through 20 minutes of a stretching yoga flow. Now, there are so many benefits to a class like this. Of course, when the body feels tight, it feels really good to create a little bit of space. It means we can take deeper breaths, means that we can move a little bit more comfortably, but it also allows us to release tension from the body, which can be powerful, not just for the body, but for the mind as well. So I've got a couple of blocks. If you don't have blocks at home, don't worry. You can choose something else that's just going to help bring the ground a little bit closer to you. So a big book, a Tupperware, maybe even a cushion, whatever you've got close by. Grab two if possible, and pop one underneath your seat and one just to the side of your mat. And we're going to begin by finding a tall spine. Now, often when we're busy, we find ourselves leading with our chin, like we're trying to get somewhere ahead of ourselves. So just to land ourselves into our body and into this moment, let's take one hand, place it behind the head. I'll turn sideways so you can see me. You're going to place it behind the head and then move it just an inch or so back. And then see if without moving the chin, up or down, you can slide the back of the head into the hands. So you might create a little bit of a double chin by doing so. But what we're doing is bringing the skull back in alignment with the spine. We're connecting the sitting bones down onto the block. And by sitting on a prop, it just allows us to open through the hips a little bit more so that we can create the tilt of the pelvis that allows that lengthening of the spine. And when the spine is long, we open up this flow of energy through the body. So it's really powerful posture just to be sitting here tall. And then we're going to bring the hands to connect at the heart. The thumbs touch the sternum. And there's a little bit of softness to the jaw, to the shoulders. And you can drop the gaze down the tip of your nose, or if it feels safe in your space, you could close the eyes completely. And for a moment, just set an intention of presence here to allow whatever else that might be going through your mind to wait. Just 20 minutes. You can come back to it later if you choose, but for now, let's land as much of our awareness into the present moment. And we can do so by following the breath. So next time you inhale, let the mind follow the wave of the inhale. And then let that wave of inhale become a wave of exhale. And we become aware of the breath, allowing it to provide an anchor for our awareness. So every time we feel busy or distracted by random thoughts coming into the mind, we just come back to our breath. And next time you breathe in, it'll be a deep breath in through the nose and a big sigh out through the mouth. And then gently sealing the lips, returning to a nasal breath as long as the nose is clear. Otherwise, just breathe however allows you to be breathing. And then bring the hands and the knees onto the mat. We're going to find our way to a tabletop. So if you've got those props, just place one either side of the mat. We're going to use those in a moment. And we're going to place the hands down onto the floor underneath the shoulders, and the hips will stack above the knees. And then see if you can just gently draw your navel into the spine. So we've got a gentle toning of the core here. And rather than locking everything out, just have a little softness in the knees and in the elbows, so that we can allow for this sort of free flow of energy through the body and a bit of an activation. So a little micro bend in the elbows allows the upper arms to activate. And next time you inhale, you're going to send the shoulder blades down your back, lift your chest forward and send your tailbone in the opposite direction. And as you exhale, push into the hands, the knees, the tops of the feet as you round the spine and look towards your belly button. And we'll continue like that. This is a cat-cow. So inhaling, lifting your chest, your chin, your gaze. And as you exhale, rounding through, take the gaze to the navel. And maybe you can notice here that the neck and the jaw feel pretty tight. That is often the case. And maybe with each breath, you can allow a little bit of softness to come into that space or any other spaces in the body that feel particularly tight. Let's take one more. And exhale, round the spine. And this time, as you round the spine, widen your knees a touch and start to send your hips back to your heels, coming into a child's pose. Now, if your hips don't reach your heels, don't worry. The forehead's coming towards the ground, and you can always place a block underneath the head or underneath the hips just to bring the ground a little bit closer towards you. And start to feel the side body lengthen. Left side and right side, as you direct the hips towards the heels and the forehead towards the ground. And just notice here again, where is there tension in the body? Perhaps the hips, the lower back, maybe somewhere else. What's your experience? What can you feel in your body? Take one more inhale. And then tuck your toes and we'll gently lift up to downward facing dog. So the feet are around hip width apart as you start to send your hips up and back. Keep your knees soft. That's going to allow the spine to lengthen a little bit more. And just let the head hang heavy. Maybe it feels good for you to pedal out through the knees, one then the other. And if the backs of the legs are tight, this might provide a nice stretch through the calf muscles or the hamstrings. Good. Then bring your knees back down onto the floor. Take the gaze forward and step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Now, if it doesn't get there in one go, don't worry, you can shuffle it along the mat. And we're going to press down with the right hand, but reach the left hand up towards the sky. Now, if this doesn't feel comfortable, if the hips are tight, that right hand could come up onto your block just to create a little bit more space, because really the focus here is creating this openness across the chest and letting the rotation come from the upper back. Good. Take an inhale in. And as you exhale, place that left hand down to the inside of the foot. I'm going to grab my other block here and start to walk my hands back, send my hips back and find the left heel. So the shoulders widen, the chest is forward and the gaze is down the tip of your nose, taking a stretch into the back of the left leg. Good, it doesn't have to be intense. Beautiful. One more breath. And then press down into that left foot. Take the blocks to the top of the mat, just let go of them for a moment. Hips are going to hug inwards. We start to lift the arms up alongside our ears, coming into a low lunge. Now, this isn't about how deeply we can lunge. We want to maintain support, so activating from the inner thighs, drawing up the body, and then using that lift to create space. And it's that space that perhaps we draw into to find an opening, maybe through the front of the right hip or elsewhere in the body, depending on where there's patterns of tension. The hands can come up alongside the ears. You could take hold of your blocks. There's always options to suit your body. Good. We're going to open up through the shoulders here. So let's take a cactus of the arms. Elbows are wide and you're drawing the shoulder blades down the back of the body. So opening up through the chest. Good. Inhale, stabilize through the lower body. And exhale, wide elbows, draw the shoulder blades down the back. Good. One more time. Using your breath. Now this time, inhale, reach the arms up and then drop that left hand down towards the earth. Some people might find that the hand touches. Others might find the block handy. You can also just let that hand kind of dangle in space, but keep reaching up so that the sides of the body are long. Even that left side, can you maintain a little bit of length, a little bit of lift? Good. Take an inhale, come back to center. Both of your hands are going to come to the top of the mat, and we'll just step that left foot back, but you're going to send it all the way back behind you, floating that left leg into the air. Push through the heel so that back leg is straight. Inhale, the right arm extends forward. Now this is just an option. You can find your balance here, toning at the abdomen, and hold it there. Or you could reach back and take hold of that left foot with the right hand, rolling the right shoulder down the back of the body. And maybe this is a shoulder opener, maybe you feel this in the front of the left thigh, the quads. Just here for a moment. Keeping strong and active through that right leg, the right glutes. And then release. Let's take a cat-cow. So inhale, chest is forward, tailbone back. Exhale, rounding through the spine. We're going to push back to our child's pose like we did before. And then tuck our toes, inhaling, and exhale back to downward facing dog. Having another pedal through the knees, and maybe you could notice a little bit of variation between how one side of the body feels compared to the other, as we've worked asymmetrically so far to create space. And then those knees are going to come back down onto the floor. And this time it is the right leg that steps to the outside of the right hand. We're going to take a twist. So the left hand roots down to the earth. Use a block if you need to. Peel that right arm up. So we have this opening through the upper back. Good. Breathe. How does it feel just to create this opportunity to be fully engaged in the present moment? And if you don't feel fully present, can you follow your breath? Let the mind stay with the breath as it draws in and out. Take another inhale. Placing that right hand down to the inside of the foot. Remember, you can use both blocks here as you start to track the hips back, peeling onto the right heel. The chest stays forward, but we want to think much more about lifting up and out of the waist than folding down to reach for that foot. So it's a spacious exploration. Breathe. Keep drawing the hips back, lifting the heart forwards. Good. Pressing into that right foot now. Hug up through your inner thighs. Use that lift and that energy, draw the arms up alongside your ears. Now find that length first before drawing any further forwards. We want to make sure that the lower back stays long. Good. Take a breath in. Elbows wide as you exhale. Hug the shoulder blades down the back of the body. Good. Inhale. Exhale, we go one more after this. Inhaling. Exhaling. Good. Keep the navel drawing towards the spine. Lift the arms up and then drop that right arm down, lifting up and over. Creating that space through the sides of the body. Option to use the block. And if you're using the block, just make sure that you're not hugging that shoulder up towards your ear. Keep the shoulder blade drawing down the back of the body. Good. Lovely. One more breath. And then placing both hands down either side of that right foot. So we're sending it all the way back, threading it underneath the body, pushing through the heel to extend the leg behind us. Gentle toning at the core, extend the left arm alongside your left ear. And then reaching back perhaps to take hold of that foot behind you. Just make sure that that right hand is underneath your shoulder. If the kind of base is too wide, it can get a little bit wobbly. Good. Opening through the upper back, not the lower back. So the rotation comes from that length And we draw that left shoulder back. Good, one more breath. Good, releasing the hand, releasing the knee. Let's take a cat-cow. Inhale and exhale. And then find your way back to tabletop. And we're going to scoop the feet out in front of us. So left leg extends, sole of the right foot comes to the inside of the left leg. The spine is straight, and maybe this is enough and you get a deep stretch through the back of the leg here. That's totally fine. If you want to start folding forwards, you can, but make sure that you're not kind of folding in on yourself. Instead, think about lifting and extending out of the waistline. So we've got this opening through the front of the body. I'm going to be here for 2 more breaths. Good. Lead with this right hand. Make a big semicircle, reaching up and over. Fingertips point away. We're going to press into that hand. Hug the shoulder down the back of the body as we connect to the right shin and lift the hips up away from the earth. Left hand comes alongside your left ear. Nice deep stretch through the side of the body. And exhale, lower your hips down. Good, we're going to swap to the other side. So the right foot extends. Feel those sitting bones connecting to the earth. The sole of the left foot sits somewhere down the inside of the right leg. Lifting your chest, start to extend forward over that right leg. Staying long through the back of the neck, so you can almost imagine that that hand is there again, like how we began our practice together. Sliding the back of the head into the hand. Breathe. One more. And then big semicircle with that left hand this time, pointing the fingertips away. Press into the left shin, lift your hips away, right arm alongside your right ear. Deep stretch in as you breathe. And exhale, lower the hips down to the floor. Find your sitting bones again. Draw the soles of the feet together, making a diamond shape. Lengthen out of the waist. And as you exhale, perhaps begin to fold forwards, but only to the point where the intensity is bearable. We don't want to push ourselves to the point where we're bringing additional tension into the body. So keep the breath easeful. Hands can be on the feet, or you could be reaching in front of you. Good. Next time you breathe in, lift your chest. We're going to bring ourselves down onto the back of the body. So place the soles of the feet to the floor, place the hands down, and then you can hold onto the front of the shins to help support you as you roll all the way back down onto the shoulders. Let's press the feet down onto the floor, so feet around hip width apart. Push into the hands and into the feet as you breathe in and roll the hips up away from the mat. We're going to interlace the hands behind our back to open up through the chest and the shoulders. Good. Imagine you're trying to hug the palms towards one another, even if they don't touch. And rather than just pushing up through the belly, can you create a bit of lift and support from the glutes? Squeezing just gently to create that support network underneath the body here. One more breath. Good, and then release the interlace of the fingers and gently roll the body down onto the ground. From here, just hug your knees up in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side. Maybe that feels like a delicious little massage for the lower back. And then begin to arrange your body onto the earth for our final relaxation. So we always end our practice with Shavasana, extending the legs long and letting the feet rest wide so the heels are apart. The hands and the arms are away from the sides of the body, so there's a little bit of space underneath the armpits. And the palms are facing skywards. And you can adjust the shoulder blades down the back of the body. And for a moment, just feel the way the body meets the earth. Feel how the ground beneath you supports you here. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just melt the body a little bit more fully into the ground. And find stillness for a moment. And you can stay here as long as you like. But if you're ready to close your practice with me, gently find your breath again. And as you watch the inhale roll into the exhale, you can start to find a little bit of movement, starting with the fingers and toes, and maybe stretching the arms over your head, and then hugging the knees into your chest, slowly rolling onto one side of the body. Just pause there a moment. And then gently pressing yourself up to seated. Can you keep your eyes closed or the gaze soft for these last few moments? As you find your way to a tall spine with the hands connected at the heart. And in this short practice, not only have we created space in the body, but also a sense of focus by centering the awareness on a single point, the wave of the breath. And knowing that this serves us so well as we step off the mat and into the rest of the day ahead. Can we make a commitment now, set an intention to carry the efforts and the energy of our practice forwards as we meet whatever lies ahead of us in the rest of our day? Thank you for sharing your time and your practice with me today. Have a beautiful rest of your day.